Okay, let's do this. Let's see. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media Coverage. I'm your host, Darren Campbell. And there on my right is Jason Cameron joining us on a typical Monday. Hey, Jason, how are you?
Very good. Very good. Sorry it's a late start, but you know how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, no doubt. I guess started a new show. How do you feel about starting a brand new show with all this COVID stuff?
Well, you just have to, temper your expectations nowadays with everything that's going on. So you just got to get on board, play ball, do what they tell you to do, and try to be as safe as you can.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Must be hard to get as much accomplished before this. Seems like, everything in place probably takes a lot longer.
Yeah, it does. It does. But you know what? We have to just take more of our time to ensure that they're safe and our protocols are being followed. So.
Yeah, well, another great weekend of sports. We've got the Monday Nighter going on, end of the third quarter here, and the winless New York Jets are looking pretty good against the hapless New England Patriots. We were just talking a minute ago how the mighty have fallen. 4 straight losses for the Patriots. They were going in tonight as a 9.5-point favorite, and they're getting beat by the winless Jets. It's pretty shocking how badly they have fallen off since Brady's left.
You know what? Belichick might be thinking, if this is how it is, if we do lose this game, we might have to call the season. Season's over.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah, just pack up and go home. No more games.
Go home, people. You are done. It's over. I've done my best. This is what it is. But
Yeah.
Hey, they've had a longevity of excellence for a very, very long time. You can't sustain that forever. And Now we're seeing what happens once Belichick kicks Brady to the curb. Nothing good, apparently.
No. Yeah, I mean, it started off well. Cam Newton scored an early touchdown, but he's been struggling in the past few games. 2 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. After that first 2-game winning streak, they just have looked like, they just have really not been playing well. He scored a 7th rushing touchdown, but then Joe Flacco took over, and he's thrown a couple touchdown passes to Brashad Perriman. Flacco actually passed Joe Montana tonight for 20th on the all-time passing yardage list with 40,000 and a few yards. Flacco has had an up-and-down career, but MVP for the Super Bowl in 2012, 13th season. Sam Darnold goes out and gets hurt, and I don't know. Flacco's looked really good tonight. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Go back to that Montana thing. I can't believe Montana's only 20th. He was only 20th. Oh man, are you serious?
I was really shocked to hear that too.
I'm shocked at that, but yeah, at least I guess they got Flacco's because he can do a little bit better than what Cam's doing. Unfortunately, not much apparently, but yeah, he's trying.
Trying. Well, I know a lot of the Jets were hoping to. Jets fans were hoping to go winless or at least finish last in the league so they can pick Joey Lawrence and try to rejuvenate this franchise. But it was a pretty sad game when you looked at these two teams going in. You didn't think a Monday Nighter that you had to be tuned in for. I've watched most of it, but it's a couple of pretty bad NFL teams that really not doing too well. I mentioned Joe Montana, and I do want to mention Joe Montana actually from last night's game. Last night's game was an absolute blowout. Nobody expected the Saints to shock the Bucs and absolutely blow them out. They were leading by more than 28 at halftime. And in the Super Bowl era, there's been 207 teams that have trailed 28 points at halftime, and only one team has ever come back and win, and that was Joe Montana's led 49ers to beat the Saints in 1980. So kind of wild. You knew once the Saints got up and started rolling, you did expect Tampa to do a little pushback, but the worst loss in Tom Brady's career He just just didn't have it last night. 3 sacks, 3 picks, and only 3 points on the board. A pretty bad effort by the Bucs.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of blame has to be laid at the feet of Tom Brady for that. He did not play well, but here's the thing with that guy that I don't like. Anyways, he's going to come back with a vengeance next weekend. That's what he does. If he stinks it up, that guy always comes back harder than ever. So I expect a very, very good effort on his part for next weekend.
Yeah. We didn't see anything out of Antonio Brown. He wasn't targeted. Do you think he's going to be able to get on the same page as Brady, and they're gonna be a good dynamic duo together?
How about this? Let's say, will Antonio Brown behave long enough for them to even get on the same page? If he does that, because I'm pretty sure Bruce Arians has him on a short leash. Anything, any sort of disruption, you're gone. You're out of here. Yeah. Because let's be honest, I don't think Bruce wanted him there. I think Tom did. Right. And Tom probably talked him into it.
True.
And so with that being said, Bruce goes, okay, all right, you know what, Tom, we'll do it your way. But just one thing from that dude, one thing, he's out. And you got to believe that guy's not messing around, because he already has a playoff-bound, possibly finals team right there, finals roster. So he's not messing around with that.
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of called out Brady a little bit today in the press conference I saw, or maybe it was yesterday. I just saw the clip today. He said that he saw Mike Evans open many times and the ball wasn't thrown to him. He was really angry about that. Arians said, what's going on? There's, one of our top guys, ball's not being thrown to him. Don't get it. And, so it was kind of surprising to hear him sort of throw Brady under the bus like that.
When was the last time you heard that from any coach about Tom Brady? It's a little eye-opening, but also too, he's not wrong. Yeah. He played he played very, very badly, played very, very poorly. So he's definitely telling his quarterback, you better step your game up. Yeah. But hey, would you look at that as Tom Brady? He can actually do that. So
yeah. The one good thing about last night was seeing Breeze sort of shake off the doubters. A lot of people said his arm strength isn't there. He's 41. He should get out of the game. He's no good. He had a really, really great game. He's actually 5-2 in his career over Tom Brady. They've only played each other 7 times, which is pretty surprising. But most wins ever by a quarterback against Brady. And the Saints beat the Bucs twice this year. So really good for the Saints. Looking forward to facing this team in the playoffs possibly, and trying to march towards the Super Bowl.
Yeah, obviously Drew Brees has Tom's number in this matchup. So, like you said, going forward, that's going to give them a huge boost if they actually have to meet them in the playoffs at any point in time going down the road.
Yeah, they got Michael Thomas back. He's only had 3 catches for 17 yards on the season. Pretty crazy after he led the league last year with 149 catches, 1,725 yards, and 9 touchdowns. I expected him to come back with a flourish. Was kind of muted a little bit, but nice for Brees to be able to get that weapon back and even have more killer of an offense.
Oh yeah. Like Michael Thomas is just that good. And maybe he still has to round into form before Brees really starts targeting him. But I would assume, I'm going to have to assume that he's going to be catching more balls in the near future.
Yeah. Well, the Seahawks weren't able to outscore their opponents this time. They faced the Bills, and the Bills have looked great this year. 44-34 win for the Bills over the Seahawks. They moved to 7-2. Seahawks just didn't make the moves on their defense that they needed to at the trade deadline, and I don't know if they're going to be able to, have a great year and go very far. Their offense is just phenomenal. DK Metcalf had another great game. Russ had a great game, but they, left 44 points in. You really can't do that and expect to win.
No, and also too, usually you put 34 points up on the board, you're going to win that game. Mm-hmm. But like we've been saying before, this defense is their Achilles heel. I'm sorry, but it is. Like they don't have the capability to stop the really good teams when they need to. And that's something that I don't know if game planning or adjustments are going to fix that. It seems to me that they just don't have the personnel to compete at that level with the top defenses in the league.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick up the phone tomorrow. I heard the Seahawks were off today. I'm going to pick up the phone tomorrow and talk to the Seahawks defensive coordinator and tell him that social distancing doesn't work for the football games, because it seemed like they were fucking giving them 6-8 feet distance every time they came up to the line. It was brutal. It was most shocking, and I was thinking, come on, this isn't COVID out here on the field here. You can do that on the sideline and in the locker room, but not on the field.
Yeah, man. I you know what? I have to give hats off to Josh Allen for picking the defense apart, picking apart their secondary, but those guys could not stay with any of the wideouts for the Bills. They were running free down there, running free.
They sure were, yeah. Russell Wilson, too, their offensive line, they did score 34 points, but he was hit 18 times yesterday. Too much punishment, not having a chance to really, utilize his skills and his weapons. It was pretty bad. I was pretty disappointed. You mentioned Josh Allen. He just found out, I guess, right before the game that his grandmother passed away. He was very close to her. Somebody took to social media and decided to do a fundraiser. They call them the Bills Mafia. They were asking for everybody to donate $17. That's Josh Allen's number, $17 to the hospital. They received over 3,400 donations totaling $63,000 in about 5 hours time. Very, very amazing fundraiser that just happened off the cuff and raised that much money for the hospital in his grandmother's name. It was pretty cool to see the Buffalo Bills fans jump to that right away.
Oh yeah, man! Like that, the Bills fans love their team. They love their team and love the players that play for their team. So I'm not surprised to hear that they would do that and pick up for their quote unquote teammate the way that they did.
Yeah.
Right? It's cool.
Yeah, it was a touching story. It was really cool. Yeah. Okay, Steelers stayed unbeaten. They looked to have some troubles with the Cowboys. They played down to the competition, but they were down 19-9 late. Had a comeback. They stay undefeated. That's the best start ever in their history. They've never went that far undefeated and pulled it off. I'd never expected Dallas was going to win this the whole time I watched, but I was like, come on, Pittsburgh, get going. What's going on here? And Chase Claypool looked good. Roethlisberger looked good. 8-0. Definitely going to the playoffs and looking super strong.
Yeah, man. And also, too, I need to say this. What won them that game? What cost Seattle their game? Defense. Their defense, again, came through just like they did the weekend before. Last play of the game, knocked down the ball. Steelers win. Yeah. Like, that's a defense that you can put money on the bank for. You know what I mean? Like, that's a defense that will win you games. And that's what Seattle's sorely missing. And that's what the Steelers do have. Yeah.
It was kind of cool to see the fourth-string quarterback, Garrett Gilbert, finally get his first start ever. And he actually looked pretty good. If he would have completed that pass at the end, they would have won that game. But, to go into your fourth-string quarterback and actually have a chance to beat the only undefeated team in the league, you got to feel a little bit confident in that guy.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't even remember when the third-string guy got hurt, but he did. So you know what? I hope the Cowboys don't have this guy get injured, because what are you going to do? I don't think you usually have 5 quarterbacks on a roster. So is it going to be like a receiver? Just going, hey, man, coach, put me in, buddy. I got this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the third stringer didn't get hurt, luckily. He was just ineffective last game. He was a rookie coming in. He was 7th rounder, didn't play really up to snuff. They decided they'd give this other guy a shot. So luckily, 3 guys aren't on the injured list, but yeah, 4-stringer, and yeah, I thought he actually looked pretty competent, pretty good. So, but yeah, Dallas is a lost cause this year, I guess. Okay, let's turn to the Kansas City game. Patrick Mahomes looked fantastic again. 4 TD passes, fastest to 100, 40th game of his career, 100 touchdowns. Still really just phenomenal. This team is scary. They're outscoring their opponents by 103 points this year, and yeah, we're able to get another huge victory.
Yeah, they looked great, but the Panthers gave them a game, man. Yeah. Panthers were really in it. Christian McCaffrey looked unbelievable, like he always does. Yeah. I would have to put him right up there with the top running backs in the league if he's not the top guy right now. Like he's a stud. Oh, but the Chiefs always find a way to win with Patrick Mahomes at the helm there. Oh man, the Chiefs are good. The Chiefs are just they're going to be a load for a long time.
Yeah, no, you're right. Definitely. McCaffrey, yeah, he missed, I think, 4 games, came back, and he was, yeah, all world as usual, but not enough to knock off the Chiefs. Okay, this Baltimore-Indy game, it involved Phillip Rivers probably making one of the worst looking tackles I've ever seen in his life. He's played 247 games in his career, and he's never been credited with a tackle, which is pretty shocking. He's thrown some picks and, tried to get at the guy, never credited with a tackle. Did you see him trying to make a tackle on this fumble recovery that was made, and he looked like a turtle? He flopped on his back, and his hands were in the air. It was sad. It was really sad.
You know what? I do remember that, and I remember thinking to myself, you know what? You're not going to get a tackle doing it that way. That is the wrong way to do it. Like, I think maybe the linebackers got to take him aside and say, okay, so listen, you got to get low in your stance. Hit him with the shoulder, do that. Try that. You know what, Phil? Forget it. We'll take it from here. Just pass the ball.
Yeah, no, it was hilarious. It's one of the funniest things I saw all weekend. I couldn't believe it. And then, I heard some of those stats about all the games. Never been credited with a stat. That's a sack a tackle in his life. And Lamar Jackson looked great. They finally broke a streak that was really pretty dubious. That was they when they're losing at halftime, they lost 31 straight games. Were never able to come back in 31 straight games, and they finally did get the victory. That is their 31st straight game with 20 points, but they haven't been able to come back. Lamar Jackson looked great, had a big comeback, and they won 24-10.
Okay, that's great that they did that, but that's actually a little bit concerning that they have never that streak went for that long. Yeah. And so hopefully Lamar doesn't let that happen again, because that's not good. Because basically it's telling the league that if you get up on the Ravens, they're not coming back.
They ain't coming back, yeah. No kidding. Yeah, I was shocked to hear that because, you hear about comebacks all the time. Russell Wilson's engineered tons, Matthew Stafford. You hear, about all the good stats. You don't hear about stats like that are dubious ones. And, finally, hopefully Lamar was able to break that streak, and they won't have to deal with that. They can, if they get down, they can still come back. And but yeah, long stretch for them not being able to pull that off. But they had a big win there. Raiders Chargers, really good game. Watched a ton of that yesterday afternoon. Went back and forth the whole entire game, and it came down to the last second play. Chargers threw it in the end zone. His name is Donald Parham. Grabbed it, fell to the ground, and as he hit the ground, the ball came a bit loose, and they went to review, reversed the call, called it no touchdown. Raiders got the victory. I feel really sad for the Chargers. They've had so many losses where they were leading, and they lost. And now they had this one where he had it. They called it a touchdown, ready to celebrate, and they said it dropped to the ground. So pretty tough on them.
Yeah, very tough. But I got to say this. You got to give it to that Raiders DB that had him in coverage for that particular play. Because when he was bringing it in, doing the gather of the football, dude's hand was right there. It was in with the gather. So he managed to knock it loose just enough so that it didn't count the touchdown. Wow. Which kind of makes sense because that's the kind of season the Chargers have had. Yeah. They can't hang on to the leads, and they can't win the close ones. But that also tells me that they're on the cusp of getting to that point too as well. This might be like their hard knock year of just taking these knocks, but also too trying to figure out how to win these close games.
Sure, yeah. Herbert looked good as usual, 326 passing yards, a couple touchdowns. This guy Parham, I wanted to look a little deeper into him. He's 6'8", 260, so that's a pretty good target to throw up into that corner. 7'1" wingspan, 36-inch vertical leap, and that would have been his third catch and his third touchdown. So he's only caught 2 balls, both for touchdowns. And I was wondering, why do you throw it to this guy? You got Keenan Allen, you got Mike Williams, you got all these, stars. And I thought, okay, well, that makes sense. This guy's so tall, massive wingspan, great leaping ability, and caught 2 touchdowns and 2 catches already. But, yeah, he just couldn't hold on to the third.
Yeah, and also, too, you know what? If you got dimensions like that, like you're Too Tall Jones, except super athletic, I have no idea why they don't pass to him more. Like you could actually do that. You don't just have to pass to him in the end zone. He's still on the field. You could use him. That would probably be a good idea.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, good point. I don't actually understand why he's not getting the ball a lot more.
Hey, right?
Yeah.
Pass him the ball, man. He's a freak of nature. Pass him the ball. That's what I would do. Toss it up. It's like, oh, look at that, man. I tossed it up in triple coverage. He still caught it. That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, just incredible. Incredible stats. Like you and I just week after week, we talk about these freaks of nature. And, yes. We talked about Claypool being, so big. We talked about DK Metcalf, the size, the speed. And then, I see the particulars on him, 6'8", 260, and with a 7-inch wingspan and a 36-inch vertical. You're like, how is anybody ever going to be able to stop him from catching the ball?
Yeah. Like he actually makes DK Metcalf look like a child. Yeah, there's somebody that makes DK Metcalf go, it's like, look at this little guy, eh? What you doing out here?
Man, that's amazing. Yeah, year after year, it blows me away how big these guys are getting. Fast, athletic. We just saw guys like that. They would have just been relegated to the line, and we would have never known their names unless they got sacks. And now they're catching balls in the end zone, catching DBs when they're running back for pick sixes, and it's just it's incredible, the athleticism and the size of the guy.
Yeah, man. Like it's just the evolution of the game that now guys that you would normally say that's a tight end. Oh no, apparently that's just your wide receiver.
Yeah, awesome. So awesome. Yeah. That Miami-Arizona game was fun yesterday. Went back and forth, 34-31. Miami win. Tua getting a second win in his second career start. He's actually the 4th quarterback in the past 2 years to win his first 2 starts. First rookie guy. Looked great. He really seems to already hit the ground running. He had 248 yards through the air, a couple touchdowns, had 35 yards on the ground, and I'm impressed so far by what he's done.
Yeah, because they kind of softened the blow for him, so to speak. They let Fitzpatrick run the offense for a little bit, and then kind of slowly brought him along. And now they just basically gave him the keys to the car and said, go for it, son. And look what he's done so far. I'm super impressed because he went up against a very, very good Cardinals team with Kyler Murray playing very, very well. They went in and they did the job.
Yeah. Kyler Murray's stats just blew me away. He had 283 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. He also had 106 yards on the ground himself in 11 carries. So, yeah, and a touchdown he scored on himself. Christian Kirk had a great game, 5 catches, 123 yards and a touchdown. But yeah, Tua was the better man there, and yeah, a huge win for Miami. They looked absolutely so bad last year. It's great to see them win a big game against Arizona. Arizona's a great team, and he pulled it off. Yeah, I think yeah, the fans got to be happy. He's going to gain confidence. Yeah, I think Miami can be something to look forward to in the next half the season and into next year.
Yeah, the future looks bright for Miami. It looks like they got themselves a winner, a blue chip winner
Yeah.
in the locker room there for themselves, for that organization.
Your Falcons had a big 34-27 win over Denver. The guy that caught the balls, I don't know if I'm going to say his name correctly, but he was the star of the show through the air. Olamide Zacchaeus. I don't know. I probably butchered his name, but 4 catches, 103 yards, and a touchdown. He holds the NFL record for the longest ever touchdown catch on his first reception ever in the NFL. 93-yard touchdown catch he got last year in his very first ever game, first catch. So kind of cool. Atlanta's got these weapons. They constantly bring these amazing guys in, but yeah, I don't know, struggle. Luckily, they got a win yesterday, but I'm going to take a look more at this Olamide and yeah, see a little bit more deeper into where he comes from, and yeah, holds that record. That record could stay for a really long time too.
Oh, I would imagine that's going to stay for a really long time. And obviously, Matty Ryan has finally found himself another weapon within that offense to pass to, which is with all the other ones. But again, look at the score, 34-27 against the freaking Broncos, 27 points. 27 points. Okay, so we get it. Atlanta doesn't have no defense. Cool. That's why they can't win games.
Yeah, they got to shore that up for sure. But yeah, good to see Matty Ice. He played well, 3 touchdowns, and but yeah, another weapon there. I was shocked to see this guy come in there and do well and be their most prolific receiver. Minnesota, big victory over Detroit, 34-20. Dalvin Cook. I don't know if I don't know how you can stop this guy. Incredible game again. 22 carries for 206 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground and 46 yards through the air. He had 127 yards yesterday after contact. So, he's just hard to bring down. And, another 200-yard game for this guy. I don't know, like they keep talking MVP, Russ, and guys like that. But, man, like, why wouldn't you think of this Dalvin Cook as the front runner now? He's being unstoppable in the last little while.
He's absolutely filthy. He actually, right now, do you know who he's reminded me of? Prime AP. Prime AP Peterson.
Yeah, AP, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, too, in that game, he channeled his inner Marshawn Lynch. 127 yards after contact? That's prime Marshawn Lynch as well. You know what I mean? Like, it is quite impressive what he has done this season.
Jeez, is it ever? Yeah, I was absolutely blown away by him again. Watched a ton of that game. And Matthew Stafford came back after COVID. He was off this week from COVID. They cleared him on Saturday, and then he got a concussion yesterday. So who knows? I think he might have cleared concussion protocol, but man, it rains, it pours. Here's a guy that has to go through COVID. Now he has to deal with this concussion. But yeah, the story of the day in that game was Dalvin Cook. Pretty much nobody else did a ton. Kirk Cousins had 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, but Dalvin Cook was the story of that game by far. He is just a man amongst boys. it's pretty cool to watch. Okay, so just let's catch a couple more games here. Houston had a really controversial win against Jacksonville. Jacksonville is absolutely furious post game over a massive blown call. Okay, I'll try to set the stage quickly. They've got the ball. They're about to snap it, and you can see the play clock ticking down. It ticks down to 0, and you can actually count. I watched it about 4 times today. You can actually count really slow: 1 steamboat, 2 steamboat, 3 steamboat. 3 seconds after the play clock expires, they snap the ball. They give it to Will Fuller, and he goes for a 77-yard touchdown. And it totally, absolutely transformed the game. Jacksonville had a big comeback, but they couldn't pull it off. It was brutal. Obviously, they complained immediately, but they, in the NFL rulebook, it's not reviewable. They're not allowed to, see what happened there, which seems like an absolute joke and a travesty. But Jacksonville had a chance to win that game, and they kind of got it, stolen from them by that call.
Yeah, you know what? There's certain things that are in the NFL rulebook where they say replays are not allowed. They're going to have to revisit that because we've been seeing that time and time again where issues will come up where it's just like, how is that not a reviewable play? You screwed up badly. And I'm not saying that the refs have to be perfect. Of course they can't be perfect. They're human beings. Yeah. But if it happens to that degree, to that extent, and it costs a person a game where it shouldn't have been, that should not have happened, then you got to replay it. I'm sorry. You have to do that. You got to get things right.
Well, if it goes to the review booth, then it takes it out of the ref's hands, and it's not even a question anymore. It's not on to them. It's on to the people in New Jersey, and they make a decision, and then boom, then you can blame them. But it was so many seconds. Like the guy that's supposed to look at the clock was not looking at the clock. I don't know what he was looking at. I couldn't really see him in the picture when I was watching it over again, but. Oh my God, that can get people fired over huge loss like that. Jacksonville's only won 1 game this year, and Houston's only won 2 now. It was a winnable game by them, and I would be mad. And I don't know what they can do about it now, but man, it was pretty bad.
Because I was going to say, Darren.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say real quick because I'm pretty sure he wasn't fan watching. Because there's nobody in there. You know what I mean? There's just nobody there. No. So I don't know what he was doing. I
don't know either, yeah. The biggest thing that came out of that game was J.J. Watt getting his 100th career sack, 4th fastest ever, 120 games, 4th fastest ever since 1982. Do you think you can name one of the top 3? Do you? Would you be able to pull out?
I'm gonna say what. Man, okay, I'm gonna go for it. Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, no, he's not on there, but good guess.
Oh, okay. Warren Sapp.
Oh no, yeah, another guy that should be. I guess he got the sacks later on because he ended up. I think didn't he become the all-time leader? Yeah, I think eventually.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay,
I think he had that. Do you remember that gift sack that? Brett Favre kind of gave him.
Yeah, that's right. That was hilarious. Actually, that was pretty funny. Okay, man, I don't think I'm gonna get it. So
okay,
give me some.
All right. Well, coming in at number 3 is Bruce Smith, Buffalo Bills longtime lineman, 114 games. Then we've got a longtime Cowboy, DeMarcus Ware, at 113. Yep. And then a absolute legend, Philadelphia Eagles, Reggie White.
Yes, Reggie White. Of course, yeah. Reggie White. It's been too long. I should have thought of him right away. Damn.
And he did it in 96. He had 100 career sacks in 96 games, so just blow the competition away. 17 games faster than any other human's done it. So kind of cool. I was always a big Reggie White fan. I'm an Eagles fan growing way back. And pretty awesome to see that list. J.J. Watt joining an elite crew there. So kind of cool.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Because J.J. Watt's been stalwart throughout the NFL in his career, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer once his career's done.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is.
Oh, yeah. I guess last game we haven't mentioned, Titans beat the Bears 24-17. After a 2-game losing streak for the Titans, they were able to come back and get a win. Tannehill, not the greatest game, 158 yards through the air, a couple touchdowns. Derrick Henry was actually, not the amazing self that he's usually is. 21 carries for 68 yards. The big guy for them was A.J. Brown with 4 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown. But, Titans looked really good defensively, beat the Bears 24-17.
Yeah, and the Bears, their problem is that, unfortunately, they just don't put enough points on the board. They struggle to put points on the board. This was a winnable game for them, but they just couldn't find their offense when they needed to.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, have you seen the updated score? Okay, 27-20, 4 minutes left. Patriots got the ball marching. It's a 4th and 1 here. So, they got to get 1 yard to continue this drive.
Oh, and they get it.
And they get it, yeah. Rex Burkhead has looked really good tonight. He got a touchdown earlier. When Sony Michel got hurt, he had to step in and get a lot more carries, and he's looked good. I think that was him getting that carry. No, that was Cam.
Cam Newton, quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
Quarterback sneak. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we haven't covered in football for this weekend that you think we should?
The only thing I was going to say was I just noticed this. I noticed this, and I was just like, that's interesting. In the Dallas game against the Steelers, I believe they were playing in Dallas Stadium, and they're allowing some fans in some states, right?
Yeah.
And so I noticed that in the Dallas Stadium, in the upper deck, I don't know what kind of social distancing they're doing, but it didn't seem like there was a ton, if you know what I mean.
Wow.
It just did. Like, I'm looking at it, and I saw some still pics, and I was like, the fans look awfully close to one another. Like, what's going on there? Like, I looked at it, and I'm going to be honest, man. I have questions. I got questions once I saw it the way I saw it. I had questions.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, because I cannot believe the COVID counts that they're getting across the U.S. Like 120,000 a day, and 1,200. No, what was it? 120 people passed away, or was it? Yeah, I think 120 people passed away, or maybe even 1,200. But there was 120,000 cases of COVID in one day. It's just so brutal down there. Let's just talk about that a little bit. Joe Biden becoming the president finally this weekend after a really long count. President-elect, let's say. Kamala Harris, really fantastic to see his vice presidency running mate. How did you feel when you finally heard the news?
The end of terror, like the man Trump, who's terrorized the American people. It's at an end. Yeah. People can have a sigh of relief, like, oh God, we made it. We made it through that 4 years of the darkest part of our history. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm not even like, that's what it was. Yeah. Like, this is a president that made George W. Bush, and you look back on George W. Bush's his presidential time and say, he wasn't that bad. You know what? He was all right. It's not that bad. That's what Trump did.
Wow.
That's what he did.
Yeah, that's
not good. And I just couldn't be happier that Biden won. I couldn't be happier that Kamala Harris is the first visible minority woman VP to take office. It just shows that, we are coming around. Yeah. Things are evolving. People's mindsets are evolving, which is a good thing to see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been a long time coming. Really tough 4 years. you thought once Obama was in, okay, finally we're moving forward. Things are looking good. The world started looking at the States and not, having so much criticism. And you thought, okay, they've sorted out a lot of their racist issues and a lot of things are looking forward. And then, bam, did they ever take a step back? Trump comes in and, it's still not fixed because, 70 million people voted for him, which, just it blows my mind. It shocks me to the core that 70 million people would think that he's the best option that they had. Very happy that Biden is there. And let's hope he can, unite the people. I don't remember seeing so much division between the people in the U.S. since we saw a lot of problems with race riots back in the 60s and, trying to, change the world back then they were doing. It's become a country divided and it's a little scary to see.
It is very scary to see, but hopefully now with the new president coming in, hopefully the country can begin to start healing from this divisiveness that President Trump introduced. He never tried to even bring the country together. He just tried to tear it apart all the time. And so hopefully now Biden can come in and say, okay, let's try to heal stuff instead of trying to tear things apart like this guy tried to do before me.
Crazy, yeah. Yeah, well, they're our neighbors to the south. We got, a lot of trade with them. We get a lot of games from there. We get a lot of media. We have to get along. And, it was hard to, it was hard for Trudeau to get along with Trump. And, hopefully Biden and him can have some great talks. And, a lot of things between Canada and U.S. can get better than it has been.
Yeah, and also too, Trudeau had an impossible job to deal with a man baby. Really hard to do that. But now that he doesn't, now he gets to deal with Biden. And all I'm going to say to Joe Biden is just stay healthy, buddy. Take care of yourself. You're getting up there in age. So we just want to see you finish your term.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people are a little concerned that, the oldest president ever. And, you can have health troubles. He's definitely jumping on to try to stop this COVID problem. That's, I think priority number one. He doesn't actually take office for 2.5 months, but he's already assembled a task force. And, he wants to really, take that as a massive priority and stop this curve and, bring it down to a reasonable level. So, we don't, have this border closed and have all the problems and, all the deaths and people getting sick. It's been horrible down there, especially imagine not having healthcare, and, having to deal with this.
Yeah, no. And also too, like Biden is just going to do all the things that the other guy should have done. Literally, that's what he's going to do. I'm going to take care of the American people as opposed to saying, you're on your own. Good luck.
So brutal. Yeah. So brutal.
Yeah.
Patriots tied it up 27-all. I think that was Cam Newton snuck in again, touchdown, second of the day for him. So we've got a bit of a shootout. 2 minutes left. We'll see if Joe Flacco can march the Jets down and pull out the first victory of the year for the Jets.
What a game. What a game.
It's hilarious. Yeah. Okay. I want to turn now to this weekend's UFC. I do want to mention our partners. Please, first, partners and sponsors. Anchor's been a great partner and sponsor for Complete Sports Media. They are really amazing at posting on multiple podcast platforms. Go to Anchor FM and get all the details. Easiest place to start a podcast. So if you ever really want to sit in a chair like this and talk to great people like this, that's the place to go to start. Verbero, fantastic hockey and equipment and apparel company, industry leader in technology, performance, and value. The V350 stick is a can't-miss stick. If you play the game, you want the lightest stick, the most power. That's this stick there. Verbero amazing equipment and apparel. Also, Pampas Impossibilities. They design and sell dried floral arrangements and installations. Amazing handmade, curated products. And our last partner and sponsor is Forever Living, the aloe vera product company. Fantastic products. And all you got to do is go to completesportsmedia.com, and all the details on these companies are there, and the possibility for you to get products at a very discounted rate. Easy to do, completesportsmedia.com. Okay, so UFC, I just absolutely love the UFC so much. I'm so happy that every single Saturday I can count on a card being here. And we had another fun one this past weekend. And yeah, I was really surprised at some of the performances, and especially this was only the 7th time in UFC history that two Brazilians were fighting each other on the main event on a card. And I looked into some of the other ones that happened over the years. Some of the ones that really stand out for me was Anderson Silva and Vitor Belfort. When Anderson did the front kick to Vitor's face and knocked him out, UFC 126. Then we've got Lyoto Machida and Shogun 2. And then Anderson Silva, Damian Maia, Lyoto Machida, Shogun, the first one. Anderson Silva, Tialis Leites. And then we've got Nogueira and Verdum 2. A lot of really amazing battles. I was surprised that there wasn't more, especially even some female ones, but that's it. This is the 7th time. The thing that stands out for me the most out of this fight, the main event between Thiago Santos and Glover Teixeira, was the absolute power of the sledgehammer, but the absolute skill on the ground of Glover Teixeira, who pulled out a really fantastic victory. 41 years old, 5 fight win streak, and he should be next in line for a title shot. If they put this Adesanya Blachowicz together and make that happen, I think he should be next in line. Do you?
This is what I'm going to say about Glover. His durability is legendary. Yeah. Anybody else would have been flat on their face, knocked the hell out, and they ain't getting up for a long, long time. This guy took punches that I'm sure Santos was like, man, is he still standing? That's amazing.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm going to be honest. That dude just showed just how tough he actually is at 41. Yeah. At 41. Like, it blows my mind, man. I was just in awe of just how durable that dude is.
I know, isn't that incredible? Just the absolute powerful shots that Santos gave him, and he just seemed to shake him off, get his wits about him, and take him down and ground and pound him. It was amazing. Yeah, 99.9% of the people on the planet would have been flat out and never getting back up, but the durability, the chin he has, and at 41 years old, he's still got it and seeming to be getting better, actually. It's incredible.
It is incredible. And I'm sorry, man. He's 41. And like he said, it's like, Dana, I'm an old man. Yeah, you old man. A tough old man. Give it to him, Dana. I'm sorry. I looked at that, what he did in that fight. You got to give it to him. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. You just got to give it to him. Give him his title shot. He earned it.
He said he thinks he had some broken bones in his face in the post-fight interview. He asked for a title shot. I don't think they're going to have him jump the line and fight Blachowicz, because I think they want Adesanya. I want Adesanya and Jones to fight, because I think that will be, the fight of the year, fight of the decade. It's, it has so much more, I think, appeal, but it looks like it's Adesanya Blachowicz, and then Teixeira, needs to get that shot. So.
Yeah, and also too with the Adesanya Blachowicz fight, Adesanya's going up in weight to fight him, right?
Yeah.
correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, you know, like if Adesanya were to win, and then so he's champ, and he has to fight Glover. If I'm Adesanya, I go, well, I'm gonna have to throw everything at this dude because he's just not gonna go away. That's not what he does. You can piece him off, and he's just like, well, I'm still here. And you're like, this is not good.
No. Yeah. I know Santos must have been just so disheartened, like he threw everything and the kitchen sink at him and, hit him with just some monster shots. And, you've talked about him when you see that hammer on his chest and you just see the power in his fist. You just think, he connects and guys go to sleep. And, just some of the shots that Teixeira took and was able to shake him off. It was really inspiring. And it blew me away that he was able to withstand them and still take that win.
Well, Glover said, even in his post-fight interview, he said, yeah, he doesn't have a sledgehammer on his chest for nothing. The man hits like that. Like a sledgehammer kept hitting me in the face. Yeah. And if he does have like broken cheekbones, well, yeah, you should. I saw them shots that you took, man. Yeah, you should. A lot of your face should be broken. Just a lot of it. All right?
No kidding, yeah.
Super impressive win. Super impressive.
It was incredible. Yeah, cool to see. Yeah, it's great to see older guys do well. This was the first time in UFC history that two over 40-year-old men have won both the main event and the co-main event. And the co-main event was a legend who's first fought on UFC 28. He used to hold the heavyweight championship back in the day, Andrei Arlovski. Beat our Canadian Tanner Boser, really used a very, very measured plan and, made sure he didn't put himself into harm's way, but looked good, got the win. And there's another guy that's in his 40s and still fighting well. And seems like, still has it.
Yeah, Boser was caught in a very tough situation with that fight, knowing that Arlovski is the bigger man with the greater power, which was clearly evident throughout the fight. So he was trying to do his in and out as best he could, but Arlovski, with his experience, timed him. And then that's how he got him. Like, Boser had more volume with his punches and kicks, but the power shots came from Arlovski, which is what definitely won him the fight.
Yeah. Well, he outweighed him by, I think, around 17 pounds. Boser has been counting on that speed factor and being able to really get in and throw some really good punches, some kicks, and be able to dance back out before he can get damaged. But anytime he was getting in there to, engage, Arlovski hit him with some very powerful shots and definitely, had Boser rocked a couple times to the point where Boser had to, keep dancing around, stay on the outside, where he wasn't really able to, take the fight. So Arlovski, great game plan. We did see him press the issue in his career for a stretch there where he was getting KO'd. But he's a smart man, smart fighter. And, he's been in the game like 20 years. So, it's incredible to see him still being relevant.
Yeah, it is. And we may see the same situation as Overeem, where he's just like, you know what? It's got one more good run left in me. Because, hey, I love seeing the man fight. He can still fight at a high level, but in the back of his mind, he has to be thinking of retirement. He has to be thinking that. But for right now, he's on a roll. He's rolling, and he's looking great.
Yeah. Arlovski said he thinks that's the youngest ever opponent that he's had. And, he said, it's pretty amazing that I could still beat young guys like that. So, Patriots just kept the Jets winless. 0-9 Jets, 3-5 Patriots. They got a field goal to win the game Monday nighter. So that one's done. Okay. Let's talk about some of the other fights that happened on the card. This fight between Raoni Barcelos and Khalid Taha, I could not believe the damage that Taha could take and just keep at it. Barcelos was just an amazing fighter that night, but Taha was tough as nails, and Barcelos had to get the win by a decision. It was it was a good fight, but Barcelos is definitely the better man.
Oh yeah, Barcelos looked fantastic in that fight. His stand-up was super on point. It was like the combinations that he was doing with the mixing it up, high, low, head, body, kicks, like everything.
Yeah.
Everything he looked, it was probably the best Barcelos that we've seen to date. He looked fantastic in that fight.
Man, did he ever. Yeah, holy cow. Yeah, so good. It was a fun fight to watch, but yeah, just the combinations. I think he had 103 head strikes, nine fight winning streak now. I think he should be a top 15 fighter when the rankings come out tomorrow. 16-1 in his career in the bantamweight division. Yeah, really impressive. The featherweight fight between Giga Chikadze and Jamie Simons. Chikadze, 7-fight win streak now. Big knockout. He's 6 inches taller, massive favorite. I think Simons was in a little over his head. But Chikadze, he looks dynamite, and another huge win for him.
You were just kind of waiting for it to be over at some point. Like, you didn't know exactly how it was going to be over, but you knew it was going to be over at some point. And then the way that he set him up was beautiful. Leg kick to the body, brought his hands down. So the next time he leg kicked, it looked like he was going to the body, in the head.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Great call. Exactly what he did. Yeah, set him up perfectly. Simons took that body shot. You could tell it hurt him a bit. His hands were up, came down, head kick, boom. Yeah, took him out. Herb Dean had to step in and call it. There was only, I think, 10 or 12 days notice for Chikadze to come in and fight. But, he looked incredible. He called out Jeremy Stephens, and I see Stephens accepted the challenge today. So hopefully the matchmakers can make that happen. Little Heathen is on a little bit of a slide lately, but tough guy. And, it would be a fun fight to watch between those two guys.
Yeah, well, with Giga, that would be a feather in his cap. Anybody that beats Jeremy Stephens, well, that's a fight you earn or you survive. That's about it.
Yeah.
I've seen many fights with Jeremy Stephens where, unfortunately, he was on the losing end, but the other guy was like, I got to go to the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a Jeremy Stephens.
No, you're in a battle when you're fighting him. So, it was kind of great to see him call him out, and Steven says, I accept, let's do this. So hopefully the matchmakers can make it happen. They've been fantastic lately at doing it. We can't believe how many call-ups we see. And then, weeks later, boom, we hear them make the fight. So let's do it. That'll be great. Okay, the women's strawweight fight between Claudia Gadelha and Jan Jonan. Man, another really impressive performance from the Chinese fighter. I discounted Chinese fighters until the last few years, and all of a sudden we're seeing a couple of women that are just really phenomenal, and she looked good against a really tough opponent in Gadelha.
Yeah, she danced around Gadelha. I thought Gadelha actually had the strength advantage, but whenever she got her up against the cage, she did not do anything with the position. Instead, what happened was that Jan was busy up against the cage. He was hitting her, getting it in different positions, and just kept staying busy. Yeah. That was the main difference in this fight. And also, too, like I said, she danced beautifully in this fight. Let her hands go, and she just looked great. Looked great, man.
So there's 6 win in the UFC, and we could be seeing a Chinese all final at some point. So pretty amazing, super good performance, and fun fight to watch. That was the first fight on the main card. Now we go to the main fight on the prelims, and it was Trevin Giles against Bevin Lewis, and huge reach advantage for Trevin Giles. He's looked really good. He just had an amazing jab in this fight, and an incredible speed advantage. He just seemed to be able to utilize that jab, really, get those strikes in much quicker than than Lewis could, and took the nice KO win. Third round, 126 in.
Yeah, and also too, you could tell that he was just slowly but surely he broke Lewis down. And then in the third round, where you knew that now he has the speed advantage, Lewis can't keep up with me. All I need to do is just bide my time and wait for the perfect counter. With that combination of punches that he threw, knocked him out. Game over in the third.
Yeah, boom, that was it. Game over. You're right. Okay, this heavyweight fight between Alexander Romanov and Marcus Rogerio de Lima. Really cool forearm choke. I didn't really think you could choke out a guy that way, and I look forward to doing that to somebody soon. But man, he's got power if he can choke him out that way. That was an impressive finish.
Well, especially considering that he choked out a man just as big as him, and all he did was this: just leaned on him. Just leaned on him. Just like you're leaning on the table, leaned on his neck, and then he went to sleep. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I have never seen a choke done like that, and I don't think the announcers or the analysts have ever seen a choke done like that.
No.
And so, with that being said, people got to know it's like if he puts his forearm on you, you got to get that thing off your neck.
Yeah. His nickname is King Kong. He's from Moldova. I actually thought he was Russian, but Moldova, I don't know a lot about that country. Still undefeated. He's 13-0. Man, he's just got a lot of power. De Lima is a big guy, and I was just amazed by the choke. Really good. He has all finishes. 10 in the first round. He's got 5 KOs and 8 submissions. Looking really good. Lots of his fights are finished really quick. I think I saw 5 in a minute and a half or less. And he called out Marcin Tybura. He said he was actually scheduled to fight him at some point, and something happened. That fight didn't happen. So he's asked to retool it and make it happen again. I think that'll be a great fight.
I think that'd be a great fight. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Tybura is ranked.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Romanov is now going big game hunting. Good luck to the man, because he looks stellar. And that step up in competition, I think, is something that he absolutely needs right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Okay, well, we saw Darren the Damage Elkins get very damaged again, but had a huge victory. Man, just so many great takedowns. He is just a master at takedowns and being able to keep a guy down and get him back down. He always looks so beat up, and you always think if you saw the two faces of both guys at the end of the night, you'd think Elkins was always a loser, but he just keeps impressing and got another big win.
He grinds you down into the octagon mat. Like he just keeps grinding away and chipping away at you. He chips away at your moral. He chips away at your stamina. He chips away at your endurance to basically say, no, I'm going to make you feel despair, because like you're just feeling like, oh, he brought me down again. I gotta get back up. Then he brings me down again. I gotta get back. Oh my goodness! Like he's relentless. Yeah. He's the epitome of relentless when it comes to takedowns in a fight. It was a great win by Elkins, but it was a signature win too as well. That's what he does. He'll last you, and he's super tough.
Super tough. Yeah. He made a call out against somebody that's an amazing grappler too, and the name escapes me right down. I don't have it written down for some weird reason, but hopefully it'll come to me. But he made a call out somebody that's an amazing grappler, and I think it'll be just a really fun fight. I'm really surprised he called out the guy, because I think the guy's probably a bit better on the ground, but he wants somebody tough, and he's gonna I'm sure get his wish granted, because great performance. I was really impressed. The guy he beat, just so you know, listeners and fans, Luis Eduardo Garagori. Just couldn't stop the takedowns. I think he ended up getting about 8 or 9 takedowns out of probably about 18 shots, but just relentless, the most relentless I've seen in years. So it was an impressive win. Okay, this fight between Max Griffin and Ramiz Brahmajaj, little scary. If you're squeamish, you might not want to watch this fight because
Mhm.
Brahmajaj almost lost his ear. It was almost ripped
Oh,
completely right
right
off
off.
his head. It
Yep.
was scary. Max Griffin came in really tight, gave him an elbow. It just sliced his ear, and it flopped down so badly on the side of his face that the referee, Mark Smith, jumped in and immediately stopped the fight and said, no, we got to get that fixed right now. It was a little bit scary.
It was. It was because, and sometimes this happens when you have the cauliflower ears and stuff, and you have all that cartilage built up from the wrestling and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes those ears get hit the right way. All of a sudden, that ear is off your head, literally off your head.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I was just like, "Oh, I think I'm going to be sick." Oh my god!
Yeah.
It was not pretty, but you know what? Ref did his job, jumped in immediately, said, yeah. Would you look at that? Fight's over. You need to go to the hospital right now. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I obviously that will get fixed and everything else, but you never want to see that in a fight.
No.
You really don't. You don't want to see
Yeah, I was actually glad to see some of his social media posts. He was actually joking about it a little bit, and he said, "Hey, it's just damage. It's just a flesh wound. I'm gonna heal." He said, "How long do you think an ear takes to get sewn back to your head?" He was actually making a little bit of jokes about it, but at the time, oh man, it looked really bad and a little scary. And yeah, you think a lot of these guys with cauliflower ears, it's not fun, but not having an ear, it's got to be 10 times worse than cauliflower ears.
Yeah, and you have to remember, like this is a damage game. This is what happens sometimes, and that's the reality of the game. And sometimes the reality will smack you square in the face with it.
Yeah, I actually didn't see the early fight on the first fight of the night. Submission win by Gustavo Lopez, Anthony Burchak. 2 minutes 43 seconds in. Anything that you want to mention about that, or do we just?
I have nothing to mention about that because unfortunately I missed it as well.
Yeah. I don't even know if it made the card that we saw, but a couple of big news that came out today. Some really big news. Amanda Nunes has had to pull out of her title fight at 145 against Megan Anderson. Pardon me. Significant injury, it's been called. UFC 256 that was supposed to be headlined by this fight, and now Peter Yan, Aljamain Sterling will be the main event. I guess we'll maybe hear what the injury is and how long they expect her to be out. But tough to hear. Amanda, hurt enough that she can't fight this up in this 256.
That sucks. That sucks because I believe she's champ. So she kind of has to fight more often than normal champions.
Yeah.
And when they say significant injury like that, Darren, leads me to think she's going to be out for half a year, if not.
Yeah.
Because usually significant injuries with these guys, that means something got popped out, something got dislocated, something got broken. She's going to be out for a while.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, unfortunately. So, yeah, we'll find out. But that news just came down this afternoon. Also, the fight between Islam Makhachev and Rafael dos Anjos. Makhachev has sustained an injury, had to pull out of the fight. That was supposed to be the main event next weekend. Paul Felder has stepped in. He was supposed to be the commentator for it, but he's agreed to come in and be the late replacement. This is the second time these guys were supposed to fight, and RDA had to cancel last time from an injury. Now it's Makhachev that's out. RDA tested positive for COVID before the UFC 254. We talked about Makhachev last week, I guess it was, and I said that AKA said he was their best opportunity to get a belt and continue on the legacy that they have. So tough to see him out, but great to see Felder. Felder's been hinting at retirement, but he decided to come in and help the organization out, and yeah, it should be a good fight.
It should be a great fight. Paul Felder brings it. I'm just hoping that he's not biting off more than he can chew with this late step in, because now he has to cut weight. Cutting weight for him is kind of tough because he's actually a bigger dude. And so I'm curious to see just how much weight he'll have to cut, or if he even discloses that amount, because I'm just going to throw out a number here. I'm thinking it's probably going to be over 30 pounds that he has to cut in a very short amount of time.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a ton. That's insane. Yeah, it'll be a tough week for Felder, but yeah.
Not a fun week. Not a fun week.
I'm glad he's going in there and yeah, making sure that they have this main event still. So two other things I want to mention. Brendan Allen was supposed to fight Ian Heinisch this Saturday. Was forced to miss it. Heinisch had an injury, couldn't come in. Right away, they are scheduling him this weekend with Sean Strickland this Saturday. So he geared up for this Saturday. Has to shift to next Saturday. I think that'll be a great fight. Strickland's fighting well these days. Brendan Allen and Sean Strickland are going at it this Saturday now.
Yeah, no, that's a great fight, and it's great how the matchmakers were able to pivot and make that fight happen. They're doing a really, really good job with all the stuff that's happening right now.
No kidding. Okay, Darren Till had to pull out of his Jack Hermanson fight, and now Kevin Holland is stepping in. Kevin Holland is 4-0 this year, going for 5-0 in 2020. He would only be the third fighter in UFC history to go 5-0 in a single calendar year in the modern era, before the after the tournaments and all that kind of stuff. Roger Huerta and Neil Magny are the only other two guys that have gone 5-0 in a calendar year. And yeah, Kevin Holland is looking great. I think could be a really good fight.
It could be a very good fight. But going back to what you just said, I thought you'd say Cerrone was definitely in there.
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of surprised, because he did have that one run where he just didn't lose and he fought all the time. So I thought for sure that he was 5-0 during that stretch, but I guess apparently he lost something in there somewhere along the lines. But that's amazing though. If Kevin Holland can pull this off, especially against Jack Hermanson, because that guy's been an absolute killer as of late. He's scary. He's climbing up the ladder. He's looking at Adesanya, who clowned him last time when he would start talking to him. So Holland's just like, okay, well, you just wait right there, buddy. I'm coming. Yeah,
good point. Really good point. I thought of that today actually too, and was okay. You don't embarrass me. I don't get a chance to come back and show you, what I've learned, and he's on a mission, and fantastic 2020. It's been fun to see, and it's great that he could jump in and resurrect this fight.
Yeah, for sure, man. Because like Hermanson's no joke, and also too, if he manages to get that scalp on that level of a highly ranked guy, okay, yeah, he's going to be that much closer to saying, Adesanya, I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's getting there. So it's cool.
Yeah. One of the last things I want to talk about with the UFC is there was a special reporter's pass given to a guy on Saturday. And so I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and ask if I can be there as a reporter coming up in the next couple of weeks. The guy that got a media pass and was actually able to do interviews in the post-fights and stuff was Steve-O. Did you see Steve-O at all on the cast? And did you see any of his post-fight interview stuff? The guy from Jackass fame.
I did not see. I know I would have remembered that if I'd seen that, and I did not see. Oh my goodness! Wow, they did that. Yeah. Wow, how was it? Was he?
Wow, he knows his stuff. He absolutely knows his stuff. Like he was talking with a reporter himself being interviewed, and then he was actually conducting an interview, and There's not many people in the world that know as much about the UFC and fighting as he does. It was super impressive. And I just thought, hey, they're just throwing away to a celebrity and giving him a media
Yeah.
pass. But he actually knew his stuff. And I don't know if he was actually working for anybody or it was just sort of given to him. But yeah, I look for it online. A lot of laughs and super impressive knowledge.
No, I'm definitely going to be looking up for that because, like, if he stepped in the way that he did and looked that impressive, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool because I thought he'd just make a mockery of everything because, well, he's Steve-O. That's kind of what he does.
Yeah, no kidding. No, definitely not. No. There's a couple things that I'm going to mention. Congratulations again to Andrei Arlovski. Even though Tanner Boser, Canadians were cheering for him for sure. He made his UFC debut on UFC 28, as I mentioned. That was the year 2000, November 17th, 2000. So he's been fighting in the UFC for 20 years. He was the 10th UFC heavyweight champion, and he won in the first round by submission to take the title. He has fought 33 times. That's the most in UFC heavyweight history, and 19 wins. Incredible career for the Pitbull. And yeah, it's great to see guys that are a bit older, still being able to face these young bucks and take out the victory.
Oh yeah, man. It is super impressive. Super impressive that even at this advanced age, and I'm going to say advanced age, that he can still get it done against these young guys coming up, these hungry young men coming up.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah. Glover Teixeira, the winner of the main event, that's his 15th win in UFC light heavyweight history, and he only trails John Jones for the most wins there in UFC heavyweight history. So good on him. Another 41-year-old setting records and doing great. I really hope he gets a shot pretty soon. We'll see, how things shake out with Blachowicz and Adesanya, but yeah, it's fun to see these two older guys come in and do so well.
And also, too, Glover did it against the most dangerous man in the division, against a guy where you just go, "Oh, Santos, pass, thanks. I'm not gonna fight that guy. I'll fight somebody else. I'll fight anybody else."
Yeah, no kidding.
Super impressive.
So powerful, unreal, eh?
Unreal.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, Pel Felder steps in next weekend against Rafael dos Anjos, and it's going to be a great fight. Not a lot of other fights on the card, to mention. I think there's going to be some, we've seen, just great fights, even though we don't know a ton about some of these guys. Some of these guys we have seen here and there, but yeah, UFC next Saturday, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because, you know what? UFC just keeps cranking them out weekend after weekend, and we couldn't be happier, the both of us.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, Jason, hey, pleasure as always. Super fun. I did a little bit of hanging some UFC fight night. This is Cowboy Gaethje. We were at this event.
Yeah, that's right.
Last September. This is a former friend's fight gear, Rogue Fighter, and I actually have a Muhammad Ali picture behind me here, and
Nice.
Forrest Griffin. I got GSP over here. I got Lomachenko behind me on this side, and boxing. And yeah, so I tried to do a little theme for you tonight.
No, man, you did great because what I got is a ceiling. You got to see the ceiling.
Thanks for showing me your ceiling. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Anytime, buddy. Anytime.
Thanks, man. Thanks for doing this. I know you were working today. Really appreciate you doing it after work, and good luck on this new show. Have a great week. Say hi to all my friends that you're working with, and look forward to seeing you soon. Let's talk.
All right, man. I look forward to next week when we get to talk again. Bye-bye for now.
Okay. Take care. Bye for now. Okay. Well, another fun episode talking to NFL and UFC as usual with Jason. Yeah, it's been funny how things are now with NBA and NHL done for the year. Baseball's finished. Now we're just talking about weekend sports, really, in North America. There's a bit of soccer, obviously, to watch, but the main focus right now is NFL. We had the Monday Nighter tonight in the UFC. Every Saturday, every single Saturday, there's been fights, and it's been so fun to watch. I can't believe all the scenarios and all the amazing things that we've had to watch, and really great card this past weekend. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun breaking this coming Saturday's card down again with Jason next weekend. So keep your eye out. Watch this week. We've got a really special guest, Jeff Mazzeros, joining us tomorrow night, and we'll post it late tomorrow night. Look for it. If you go to bed early on Tuesday, look for it Wednesday. And yeah, we've got a few other people lined up this coming week. So thanks so much for your time, as always. Love you lots. Take care of yourself. Go to CompleteSportsMedia.com and support our partners and sponsors, and give us some feedback. We'd really appreciate it. So take care. Have a really great week ahead. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.